Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? It is late, and I woke up about an hour ago. I was listening to my audiobook, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, which is so good. It's so good. I have been so blessed this year already to just read some fantastic books. Had a really nice day today. Just got to hang out with Alex all day. He went this morning and went and got his oil changed and stuff on his car, and then he came home and we just kind of hung out all day and didn't do a whole lot. Hung around the house, and then I went and ran a few errands, and he watched a couple TV shows. We have not watched, people keep on asking me to do like my reaction to the RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars finale. We haven't actually watched it yet, so I can't do my reaction to it. I don't know if I will. I've said on like different seasons that I would do reaction videos to every episode, but people don't really love those. I don't like, nobody watches them, so, and I don't know if they're real interesting to people. So I like to do videos that, you know, people like to watch. But anyway, I do, though, know who won because it was all over social media within 5 seconds of it ending, and which is one of the things that sucks about social media. I mean, we didn't have that back in the day with social media. I mean, award shows weren't ruined for you, and you couldn't Google the winners, you know what I mean? You kind of had to just, like, hear people talk about it, or you had to go and, you know, ask people that had watched it, or, you know, if you recorded it, you got to see it. But today, it's like, within, you know, 5 seconds, 2 seconds of a show being over, or even, like, at the moment, it's like people are tweeting it out, or putting it on Facebook, or whatever, you know? Oh, well. I wanted to watch it last night, but we had that concert to go to. And then tonight, we literally did nothing today. It was nice. Alex didn't have any work stuff. And so he just got to hang around the house all day long after he got done with his car. And then he was talking to his mom, and she wanted to go see a movie tonight. And so Alex was like, well, why don't we all of us go see a movie? So the three of us went and saw Isn't It Romantic with Rebel Wilson. And yeah, it was fun. I'm going to do my review of it on Monday. So you'll have to come to my review channel on Monday and see what I thought about Isn't It Romantic. It's hard for me to do movie reviews and have them not be spoilers because I just want to, like, talk about the movie so much. And there's actually a lot to talk about with this movie that I really liked, but if I talk about it, like, it ruins the movie, right? So, it's the same way with, like, books. And I can say just, like, one small thing, and people are like, oh, you spoiled the book for me. I'm like, well, no, I mean, I just said one small thing, you know? But, I actually need to go watch some movie reviews and see how they handle that in there. The thing is, they're real short, and they'll talk about the movie for like they'll introduce it and talk about the actors and the actresses for like 2 minutes, and then they go in and they give their opinion for like a minute, and they're usually like 4 minutes long. So maybe I'll just like make my movie reviews a lot shorter. And then, yeah, we had a good time. We had like great seats. Alex got the seats online before we left. I love being able to pick out our seats before we go to the movie theater now, and the recliner seats just make it like 100 times better, don't they? Like, I love the recliner seats so much. My mom, oh my God, if my mom was still around, I don't really ever shut up about these recliner seats. If you guys live somewhere that, these damn potholes. If you guys live somewhere where you don't have the recliner seats, what I mean by them is, look at my hair. It is, oh. This hat's kind of itching my head up here.
All of them lift signs with "Bring Windsor"
on the come up. I love this book so much. But anyway, was I saying? Oh, the recliner seats. If you live somewhere where you don't have recliner seats and you don't know what those are, the recliner seats are like actual recliners that are like this big, and then they go out like a recliner. But you can, pick your seats before you go into the movie theater. So you can get like, row E. I think we were row E tonight or something, like, seats 4, 5, and 6. Alex always gets like the first row, like up, and then it has to be like right in the middle. Those are his favorite seats. I actually like sitting a little bit more towards the back. But he doesn't like to sit that far back, so we usually sit closer. He wears glasses too, so like if he sits far back, it's like he feels like he's like, looking through frames to watch a movie. But my mom would have loved the recliner seats. She would have talked about them nonstop because they're so comfortable. She would have been like, can you believe how comfortable these seats are? I mean, like, just like me, like I'm going on and on about it. And, but they do make the movie experience so much better. It's kind of an interesting concept. I mean, obviously, I guess we had to have the internet before we could have them, but it kind of is surprising to me that it's just something that, I mean, maybe not the recliner seats, because they'd have to like redo whole movie theaters, But what's interesting to me is that it took so long for us to get to the point where you could reserve your seats online, because that seems like something that would have been smart a long time ago, I remember, back in the day, going to the movie theater and you just like literally could not find 2 seats together. Do you guys remember that? Oh, this would be horrible. You'd like go on a date or something and you couldn't find any 2 seats together. I will say one thing that's interesting is, well, this movie was kind of packed tonight. I guess this was the weekend that it opened. I don't love going to movies on Friday and Saturday nights because it's pretty busy. But the last couple times that we've gone to movies on Friday and Saturday nights, it's been rather dead. It kind of worries me about the future of movies, honestly, or movie theaters. Because I know that everybody downloads movies and, the Fire Stick and all that kind of stuff. I hope we don't lose going to the movies because I love that, I do know that, years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, there was all this talk about how, there would be a day when books were no longer published and people wouldn't read actual physical copy books. And maybe it was longer than that. Maybe it was 8 or 9 years ago. Well, how long has it been since I wrote my book? 5 years? 5 years this summer, because there's been, it was around that time there was a lot of talk. So 5, 6 years it's been. And, people saying that physical copy books were going to go out and nobody was going to read them anymore because everybody was reading like the Nook and the Kindle and audiobooks and all this kind of stuff, which I do think is true. But I think what happened was, I think that like the Nook and the Kindle and Audible like introduced books to a lot of people that wouldn't normally read because it wasn't convenient for them. Is it snowing outside right now? If it is, it's just kind of like spitting snow. But anyway, that, they didn't have a convenient way to read before that. Or, they might read a book when they're on vacation or something like that. But other than that, they didn't really read. Well, I think like the Kindle and the Nook made it convenient. And now that you can get the app on your phone and just like Tanya reads all of her books on her phone. And, she'll still buy a paperback and stuff, but she really prefers to read on her phone because it's comfortable for her. She likes to read on her back while she's laying on the couch. But, in the last couple years, we've really, and maybe it's just my attention on BookTube and things like that I see it, but there's really been a return to physical copy books. It was so bad that like Borders left, and there were other bookstores like B. Dalton, and Walden Books that no longer exist as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware. I don't know if they do. They aren't, we don't have any of those things around here. And so it's interesting that they've made this like comeback, like physical copy books. And I think people like collecting books. I think people like, especially hardback books. I'm kind of surprised so many people like hardback books. I don't love hardback books. I like paperbacks. But I like the bigger paperbacks. But I haven't even bought that many books this year because I have so many books already that I'm like, and I have books sent to me by the publisher quite a bit for BookTube, that I'm like, well, I get a lot of advanced copies. Advanced reader copies. Not as many as I used to, but I still get like maybe every other week a book. It's never typically something that I'm dying to read, though. Or they'll send me a copy of a book that I already have. That happens a lot, too. And you can't resell those. So they have the road salted. I wonder why. I looked up the weather last night. I didn't see anything about it. I mean, it's clear. I mean, we've got some clouds in the sky, but pretty clear. Looks like a summer night outside. There's the moon I can see. It's not anywhere near full moon, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna snow. But anyway, I heard it like a year ago or 2 years ago. I read some article, or somebody was telling me, I can't remember, about Amazon was going to open these like machines at the mall or like at airports and places like that. That would be very much like, you know, like the Apple like machines that you can go to like at, you know, or like just like a Coke dispenser kind of thing, you know. And but it would be all books, and you could buy like books and paperbacks from this like vending machine. It's actually not a bad idea. I think Amazon was gonna. Did I say Amazon? It was gonna. I think it was Amazon that was gonna do it. I also have to say, like, in doing my book club, I'm gonna pull in here and see what the weather's gonna be. It's interesting to me how many people still utilize the library, which I think is fantastic. Because I love the library and I don't want the library to ever go anywhere. And, I mean, I think it's great that people are still using it, you know? Okay. But I know people that, like, strictly use the library. Special weather statement until Sunday, 7 a.m. Light wintry mix possible Sunday morning. A mix of light snow and light freezing rain is possible for the pre-dawn hours of Sunday. The potential for light snow and light rain will continue into the late morning hours of Sunday. Minor accumulations of snow along with a light glaze of ice are possible by the midday hours of Sunday. Really? I don't see that. Okay, hold on a second. Today, let's see what the weather is for today. AM snow showers, mainly cloudy with snow showers around this morning. Some mixed winter precipitation possible. High 32. Tonight, cloudy, low around 25. Monday, cloudy skies. Blue skies. Alright. Well, it's early morning and I don't see it, so. We both fell asleep right when we got home from the movie. Alex's mom wanted to go right home. We were going to maybe get something to eat, but we didn't end up doing that. And she was like, I'm so tired. So we took her home, and then Alex on the way home, he was like, I'm going to fall asleep as soon as we get home. I said, are you really? Like, it was early, too. I mean, it wasn't early, but, well, I don't know. We went to the 7:30 movie, 7:30. It was, like, literally an hour and a half, the movie, so 8:30 and 9. We probably got out there, like, 9:15. We were home by no later than 10, and we were in bed, and I fell asleep, too. It was so cozy and warm in our bedroom. And, so, yeah. It was a good day. But like I was saying about books, I hope movie theaters don't ever go away. That'll make me sad. I love movie theaters. But man, are they expensive. Alex got the tickets. And then I got like the treats for all of us. And the other reason I can't go to the movie theater very often is, I mean, not that I eat the healthiest in the world anyway, I need to get back on my stuff. I'm really actually thinking about doing the Octavia that Alex did. I've been thinking about that the last couple days, thinking about doing it. I got a Mr. Pibb and a medium popcorn, and I only ate like 3/4 of it, half of it, 3/4 of it, because I like butter in my popcorn, And Alex doesn't like butter on the popcorn. So, and his mom, and then he got I think like a large Coke. And then his mom got like a large, like, slushie. And, came to like $37 or $38. I could not believe, I was like, this is ridiculous. Tanya went to a movie, if you're watching, you got called out, girl. So my friend that I went to lunch with, the other day, Tanya went to a movie with her. I can't remember what they went and saw now. She said it was good. Tanya goes to a lot of movies, actually. But anyway, she was like, telling me, she was like, about her friend. She's like, she brings all these treats. Like, I usually bring candy. And I just brought some M&Ms. And she was like, she like opened her purse and she had like crackers and all this kind of stuff in there. I was like, did she really? I love for that. I think that's hilarious. I love people that bring their own food to movie theaters. Well, it's expensive, you know? Do you remember back in the day, you'd do it like real secretive because like you weren't supposed to be bringing candy in there and you'd like stick it down in your pockets and stuff like that? My first boyfriend and I, we went to movies literally like every week. We always went to like the late show, like the 10:30 show, and the camera fell. It's so rocky along here with all these potholes. But we used to go to movies all the time, and like once a week. And we really typically only went and saw scary movies. I mean, or like the popular movies that were out, but nothing like really super deep. I don't remember. And I remember we went and saw Titanic. I think I've told this story on here before, but it was such a Leonardo DiCaprio fan, and he wanted to go see Titanic the night that it opened, so we did. And I remember like there were like no seats left, and they let us like sit on the front row in front of the front row. Like we were literally like right in the front row, and we were like looking up like this, like as the boat went by, we were like. But we would go to a lot of movies on Sunday nights at like 10:30, and I specifically remember like in the winter going to see movies, and we would go in the movie theater, and it wouldn't be there wouldn't be hardly anybody there. I don't know, maybe it was like forecasted that we were supposed to get bad weather or something, but I just remember going into the movie. This happened like quite a bit. We would go in the movie theater and there'd be like nobody there, and then we would go see some, you know, scary movie, and we would come out after midnight and it would be like snowing like crazy, and then he'd be like, do you want to go home and watch another scary movie? And I'd be like, yeah, because we were both night owls. And that was fun. Youth. I could still do that. Go see the late movie and then come home and watch another movie. I love that. Actually, there was a movie on cable the other day. I can't remember what it was. Oh shit, what was it? Because I actually looked it up on the guide because I couldn't remember the name of it. But it was a movie that I remembered going to see at the movie theater. Oh, The Faculty. The Faculty. It seems like the scary movies back then all kind of had the same cast. There was some movie, it was a Lois Duncan book. Well, that was when a lot of those Lois Duncan books were made into movies, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. We went and saw like all of those in the movie theater. I used to keep all of my movie tickets, but I don't do that anymore. Did you ever collect things when you were younger, and then like as you got older, like there was just like a moment where you were like, why am I collecting this? Like for what? Like I used to collect cards too. Oh my God, can we just talk about this? I was actually gonna do a rant video about this. I might do a rant video. So I got Alex 2 cards, right, for Valentine's Day. And I always do this, like for anything. I always, like anniversary or whatever, I always get like a funny card and like a romantic card, right? Tanya and I were checking it out, and she was standing there when I was like checking these cards out. She was like, is that correct on those cards? my card, and they weren't like anything special. They were just, I mean, they were nice cards, but they weren't like the cheapest ones. They weren't like the big ones. There was nothing like hugely different about these cards. My cards were like 8 something and 6 something. I was like, what happened to the days of cards being like $1.25, $2.50, $8 for a card? I couldn't believe it. I could have taken him out to dinner, but I got the cards. And Alex doesn't save that stuff either. We used to save all that stuff, but we just like don't anymore. Because what happened was we were having boxes of cards, and it's like, you know, I realized one day, like with my mom, I used to, so I like, up to, this was like one of the first things that I threw out. Up till a couple years ago, I saved every card that I ever got from anybody. You know, even if it was just like a Christmas card and you'd open it and it'd just be signed, it would say like, they wouldn't even have like some message. It would just say like, you know, Aunt Judy in it or something. I'd save every card. Well, you know, one day I was like down in the basement, I was cleaning all this stuff out. I had this realization. I was like, what am I gonna do? Sit there and like open this card and be like, oh, Aunt Judy. Oh, and I have no Aunt Judy. But I'm like, do I? No, I don't have an Aunt Judy. I hardly have any aunts that are even alive anymore. But anyway, you know, like, what was I going to do? Sit there and just, like, ponder over this card? So I went through all the cards, and, like, my mom had left me, like, my mom left lengthy messages and cards. And so I did save a few of those. But other than that, or some, like, cards, like, from Alex when we first started dating that he left, like, really nice messages in it. But other than that, I got rid of them. And we just kind of, like, you know, we save our Christmas cards when we get them and all that kind of stuff. Now, with YouTube stuff, that's completely different. Like, I get so many postcards for, like, BookTube and stuff like that. I do save those. I have a box where I save all the stuff that I've gotten from YouTube. So I save that stuff, but the artwork that people send has been really nice through the years, too. Like that picture of Pee-Pee, I love. Well, we have 2 pictures of Pee-Pee. One that's painted that is like behind the couch. I love that picture. And then, oh my God, the one that was like a pencil drawing. We had that frame, or we had the frame from our anniversary. We got it at Crate and Barrel, and Alex put it in the frame. And then we have another one. I can't remember the artist that drew it, but it's fantastic, and we're gonna have that one framed too. We want to like have like the wall going up to our bedroom once we get that painted. We want to have like some black and white photographs there, and then like these pencil drawings and stuff. But the one of Pee-Pee will probably stay over the mantle because I like how it looks there. But yeah, like my cards will sit on the kitchen counter for like, you know, a week until Alex feels like, probably when I get done with my balloons and I take them to the garage, it's probably, what is going on with this camera here? Hello. It's probably when I'm always scared to touch it, then I'm gonna turn it off. It's probably when he'll decide that he can throw away the cards. And I'm just like, I mean, after that, the sentiment's gone anyway. It's not like I want him to hold on to the cards forever, even though I do write very nice messages in my cards. I did get that from my mother. But can you believe that? $6 and $8. And I think it was like almost $9. I don't think it was just like $8. It was like $8.70 or $8.60 something. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. It was like $8.69 or something. I'll have to look on the back of the card. Can you believe that? My mom back in the day, she loved handmade cards, so I would always make her cards. She loved that. Do you guys like homemade cards out there? My mom loved poems written for her and stuff like that. As much as I love that Kiehl's lip mask, like it doesn't stay on there for very long. I'm gonna leave. Where is my... Oh, you know what? Did I take it? Oh, no, here it is. I've been trying not to take as much leave lately, and I took some the day that I have my migraine, but I'm always afraid, like, when I get a migraine, because I used to have them every day. I still have, like, my head hurts on a daily basis, but that goes along with my epilepsy and my migraine disorder. I mean, it hurts a little bit every day. I didn't really realize this until I was like working after I got diagnosed with that, was that because I have this, what people consider, it is so hot in here, what people consider like severe headaches, like, how did this move again? I consider just pretty normal, because I have a little bit of a headache every day, like a dull headache. So like, if I'm on here and I'm complaining that I have a migraine or I have a really bad headache, you know it's really bad. Like, it's really bad. Because I'm just so used to having like a dull thud every day, which is part of what goes along with migraine disorder. And it's also, and this is interesting, somebody mentioned this on here like a year ago, and I ended up asking my doctor, and he said, yeah, it can be true. It's also a side effect of my epilepsy medicine that you like, so I take it, and then like I get a headache a little bit later, and I didn't even realize that. Like, all this time that I've been taking it, I never knew that. And maybe that's not what it's from, I don't know, you know, but it seems to make sense. I remember years ago I saw this movie, I can't remember what it's called, but it's with Susan Sarandon, and her son is in like the military, and they have like a big family, and like the daughter comes home or something, and the only thing I remember about this movie, do you guys know what movie I'm talking about? Anyway, is the daughter's trying to figure out, like the dad has something wrong with him, and she's trying to figure out what it is. Well, finally she figures out that it's like this tea that he's drinking, like he's allergic to this tea. I think it's like what she finds at the end, and so he stops drinking this tea, and like he feels better. And I can remember that, and I always thought that was so bizarre. You know, that maybe it's just random stuff, that sometimes we get headaches, or, you know, we don't feel well because we're allergic to something that we're not even aware of, that, you know, bothers us. I'm awake now. For brunch tomorrow, but that's a long way off. I don't know what I'm gonna get for brunch tomorrow. I've been getting different stuff. I haven't made videos on any of my channels except for my vlog channel in 2 days, and it wasn't my plan. Like, when I got up, I like planned to make videos, and then like within an hour I would get like coffee, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna, like today, like with Alex, was just like hanging out with him, and he was downstairs watching TV, and I was like, I partly didn't want him to, you know, because he had been like at the car place and whatever. I didn't want to be like, could you move upstairs so I can make videos? And I was kind of trying to be creative and think around it. That's why I was going to do like this rant video, and then I was going to do like a book vlog, but I didn't want to like film like 4 videos from my car. Although my review video that I was going to do, which I never did my Friday's review yesterday, so starting tomorrow, get back to filming stuff regularly. If I go a day without filming videos, you know, even though it's like kind of relaxing and nice to not have to set everything up and whatever, like I miss it. I miss that connection, you know? And my mind is like always ticking with ideas anyway of like what I want to do a video about. And, you know, I've had like a lot of people reach out to me for ideas for my Peterisms video. Actually, my friend, she watches all of my videos. I didn't know that, but she watches all of my Peterisms videos that I went to have lunch with, and she like texted me after lunch, and she was like, here's a couple of other ideas, like, you know, that I think would be great for you to talk about. And I was like, okay. And they actually really are good ideas, or, you know, great ideas of things to talk about on that channel. So, I've got a couple ideas for that. I've got like 3 booktube videos I have to make. I've got, I mean, a ton of review videos that I want to make. And I mean, I never know unless I do like a Q&A or I have like a planned, video out on my Peter Monn channel. I never know like until the day of what I'm going to do a video about. I like wake up and kind of look and see what's going on. And then if it's something that I feel like I need to make a response to, I will. But otherwise I don't. But I love making videos so much. And, well, and I do the vlog every day. I always kind of forget about this, like, this guy has all these bumper stickers on the back of his car. Make me weird. An equality sign. An Indiana LGBT flag. But this just is such a part of my life, doing the vlog, that I feel so blessed. I really, really do. I feel so blessed to drive around and talk or show parts of my life and, have people that want to listen to it. I actually wanted to vlog with Alex's mom being in the car tonight and have her talk a little bit, but she was talking about like all the stuff that's going on in Venezuela right now. So Alex's cousin Maya, the one that was in the Las Vegas shooting, and then she also got in a car accident, which she's doing much better. But her mom is Alex's Aunt Jackie, and her stepdad is Uncle Ed. But her dad still lives in Venezuela with her sister. And they were gone for like an hour, and they came home, and their entire apartment was the apartment they had lived in, all the things they had had for like 20 years, everything was gone. Like they had been robbed. And Alex's mom was telling me that like TVs, kitchen utensils, like literally everything they had was gone, like just completely gone, everything. And the rest of it, they just went through and just tore stuff down and just destroyed the apartment. So sad. And I asked her, I said, what is your mom doing tonight? She didn't want to come to the movie. And Alex's grandma doesn't really understand English very well anyway. But she was like, no, she's at home listening to the Venezuelan news. And she just kind of shook her head. She's like, she's always doing that. And I guess people can't come out of Venezuela right now to visit. My sister-in-law Liliana, her sister actually just left yesterday to go back to Venezuela. She's been here for was visiting, and she was here for 3 months. That's typically how long their visas are. I said something about her parents, and I don't know, apparently it just got a lot worse. The news that we hear here, people always ask me, they're like, do you guys keep up on the Venezuelan news? Yes. It's about 90% of what they talk about, but I don't really understand a lot of it. Especially when it comes into how they pick people politically and things there. I just don't understand it a whole lot. And I know that there was what they've been, this is on the heels of there being a revolution a couple years ago and stuff. But I do know, especially from Carlos and Liliana living there, and they lived in Caracas, which is where Alex lived before he moved here. I do know that it is horrible, horrible, horrible there. A lot worse than what we ever hear here on the news. We don't hear a lot of it. And what's interesting to me is, because, I have friends that live in other countries, and so when I'll talk to them, they'll say, oh my God, what's going on in Venezuela is so sad, because, they know that Alex is from Venezuela. And so they'll say, oh my God, it's on our news all the time. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, it's not on our news at all, So it's interesting what is siphoned out and what you get to see and what you can't see here. Which I never was aware of that until, being with Alex. This road, why does my cameras keep on, oh, it's this thing that it's on, it keeps on sliding back. But I never knew that, about news in our country being edited until, I started dating Alex, and they would talk about stuff, and I'd be like, why don't we hear that on the news here? They'd be like, oh yeah, well. apparently a lot of it before, and I don't know, this is where I like start talking about stuff and I don't know what I'm talking about really, but apparently before, one of the reasons why was because of Venezuela's, who was the guy before? Was it Maduro? But anyway, his relationship with Cuba. And so, because of the U.S.'s relationship with Cuba, that's why a lot was edited about, like, Venezuela and things like that. But it's really sad, you know, like, when Alex talks about the Venezuela that he moved, or that he knew when he was 12 before he moved here, and, you know, Fufu was 4, so he doesn't remember any of it. And, but Fufu's been back. Like, he's gone back twice. He went back with Carlos, or he was with Carlos right before we got married, and then he came back with Carlos and Liliana, and they flew straight to Vegas. And then he went another time for an entire summer. It was like his first year of college. He went over there and he stayed with, yeah, that was, maybe it was before, I don't think it was before his freshman year in college. I think it was after his freshman year in college. He went there and stayed the whole summer with Carlos and Liliana and his dad. His dad still lives there. And, but like, he doesn't really remember what it was like, but Alex remembers what it was like, and he always talks about, like, the beauty of Venezuela and what Caracas was like. Like, where were we? Oh, Los Angeles. He was like, this reminds me of Caracas a lot. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, just like the houses on the hillside and then the city and things like that. And, you know, he's shown me a lot of pictures from when he was growing up as a kid, and you know, they lived in like this penthouse apartment and stuff like that. And, I just think it would be very sad. I really want to go. I don't think it's super safe for Americans to go there right now anyway. Well, I don't even think we could get in if we wanted to go right now because of how it is all going down. And so many people are leaving and going to Colombia and Peru and places. I don't know. It's sad. It's very, very sad. So Liliana was really upset that her sister went back because she doesn't know, you know. And the next time she'll see her is. That whole concept is so weird to me. Like, I just can't even imagine. I remember when I first started dating Alex, you know, and like Carlos would come over for like a couple months. And at the time that I met Alex, Carlos was dating somebody different. And so she came over too, and they like stayed at his mom's, but then they would like go to Chicago for a weekend, or go to New York for a weekend, or, you know, they would Miami for a weekend because they wanted to see all over the United States. Or Carlos had, because he lived here. Carlos moved here when he was 11, and he moved home, like I think when he graduated from high school. He moved back with his dad because he wanted to play baseball there, and he wanted to go to college in Venezuela. But they traveled a lot all over the United States. But like that whole idea of like, you know, just being like traveling, like being at somebody's house for like however long it was, 3 months, 6 months, I don't know how long it was back then, but they would have people come and visit a lot. And well, Alex's grandma and grandpa actually came, I think like maybe 2 different times, a year apart, when they first, and then Alex's grandpa passed away, and that's when his grandma moved here. It's just sad, you know, to see that happen to a country. Somebody, I was talking about the Chuck E. Cheese thing on my other channel, and somebody left a comment. It was kind of actually a scary comment, and they were like, I can't remember what country they were from, but they were like this is exactly, it wasn't about the Chuck E. Cheese thing, it was about other stuff that Shane Dawson had in that video, but it was like, this is the exact same thing that happened in our country slowly, and then it was like, get ready for dictatorship or something, and it was like you guys don't even really know what's happening, and it's happening right in front of your faces. And it's kind of scary, you know. It's like, would we really ever even know if something like that was happening, you know? Like, I don't know. And that's when you listen to Coast to Coast. Oh, it's going to stop. Hold on. And that's when you listen to Coast AM and you know that you shouldn't. Man, this car is hot tonight. And I have it on my feet and the windshield, and it's still so hot in here. Coast to Coast AM talks about that stuff all the time. What was the movie about way back in the day? Oh, somebody help me with this. It was called Red, I think it was called Red something. Was it Red Dawn? I can't remember. But it was about, like, we were under martial law. They remade it. So there's a remake of it, but then the first one came out, like, in the 80s. And it's, like, a small town. And, like, the U.S. is under martial law because, like, Russia is... like, taking over the country. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Am I talking about the right movie? I never saw the whole movie. I watched the beginning of it. Like, more than once I watched the beginning of it and wanted to see it. It's like I rolled out my window and it's so cold, and then 25 degrees. I really didn't eat a whole lot today. You know, it's interesting when you think about, like, conspiracy theories, and my mother was very, very interested in that, but she wouldn't have been interested in, like, the Chuck E. Cheese stuff or, like, way out there conspiracies like that. But, like, Marilyn Monroe, like, her death, she was very interested in that. Anything to do with John F. Kennedy, my mother, like, she loved him. So anything with that, his assassination, she was very, you know, interested in. Would read the books and the articles and stuff, but it's weird when you start, like, thinking about that thing, you know, when you start thinking about those things, those conspiracies, and you wonder, like, well, what really is the truth, you know? I'll tell you what was weird in watching the Shane Dawson. I don't know if anybody else got this vibe, but if you watch the conspiracy 2-part thing, when he was talking about the wildfires and the nuclear plant, and they were showing clips of the woman who said that all the kids in the area had cancer, did that remind anybody else of Erin Brockovich? Which is a true story, you know? And I thought that was, like, it's really interesting that, I mean, that stuff has happened, you know, in our country. And, I mean, not necessarily a cover-up, I don't know, but, I don't know, it's scary, isn't it? Do you know what one of my favorite things to do is just absolutely drive around in silence? I love it. I think there's something very healing about that. I read all these billboards. It's like, who comes up with some of these billboards? This lottery ticket thing that says packed full of, whoa! I've never won, like, any kind of major money on a lottery ticket, have you? Somebody watching this is like, yeah, I won $10 million on a lottery ticket. Could you gift me some money, please? I've been holding on to this lip gloss for so long now, I might as well use it, right? I don't know why I was holding on to it. When I worked in treatment, I always had, like, a pen in my hand, and I would, like, you know what I mean? And then I would, like, keep a pen behind my ear too, I don't ever do that anymore. Like, that is something that I only did when I worked there. I don't ever do that anymore. I can't remember the last time that I've done that. It's funny the things that you do and then you kind of go through stages and then you stop doing them, you know? I was thinking the other day of like some kind of routine things that I want to start doing again, like having some structure. I mean, not serious structure, but like some routine things. And like a year ago, I wanted to read The Magic Book again by Rhonda Byrne. It's like 30 or 40 days of magic. It's basically all gratitude. But the first time that I ever did it, like, it really profoundly impacted me. Like, Alex even said, he was like, I don't know what it is about that book, but that book, like, every day you were in such a great mood. And it really did make me look at things in a different way. I mean, to this day, I still think about, like, she really makes you think about, like, how food is made. And you go back to, like, the very beginning of, like, when you're eating a meal, like, who grew the food and all that kind of stuff. And then, like, all the money that you've been given in your life, and it really makes you grateful for all of that. And I want to go back and do that because I said I was going to do it and then I never did. And the other thing, and I've talked a lot about this on here, I don't do it, is get the crossword on a daily basis. I can remember back before, like, Starbucks and stuff, making a pot of coffee in the kitchen. And this was like between my first boyfriend and my last boyfriend. I had this red kitchen table in my old apartment, and I would sit there, and my friend and I, who he doesn't live here anymore, but we were like thick as thieves, we would do the crossword, and like whoever called the other one first, like, had it done. And if you do like the local crossword enough, like, a lot of them repeat themselves. So you kind of like, there's a flow to it. You kind of get used to doing it, you know? But I'm a believer, okay, in puzzles and things like that. They make you think sharper. I really, really do believe that. Because when I would do the crossword back in the day, like, I just felt like I thought sharper, you know, and I would remember things more and whatever. And that car just, like, stopped in the middle of the road and, like, pulled way back. That's weird. What are they doing? But anyway, they would, my hip is kind of hurting in this car. But they would make me, like, think sharper, you know? And I loved doing the crossword every day. I'm thinking about doing that. Thinking about getting, but now the newspaper's like $1.50, which, I mean, is nothing, you know, I guess, but for, you know, some enjoyment. Hell, a cup of coffee is more expensive than that. I couldn't believe I went through McDonald's, I can't remember when this was, a couple weeks ago, and I got a cup of coffee. And I'm just passing McDonald's right now. And first of all, it was a fantastic cup of coffee. Second of all, it was like a huge large was like $1.80, which I still think is expensive for a cup of coffee, okay? But that compared to like $4 at Starbucks, like, I was like, oh my God, I could save so much money by just coming through McDonald's. Oh, shoot. I wonder if it's because of how I'm sitting. Anyway, I'm going to get off here and listen to my audiobook and head on home. And I don't know how long this vlog is. It's probably shorter than usual tonight. But the next couple nights I'll try to record throughout the day so that they're a little bit longer. And I don't remember who said this, but they commented on my vlog yesterday. They said they were stuck in the LAX airport. You guys are so nice with these comments. I love these comments, right? They said, I'm stuck in LAX airport, like, I missed my flight, and I'm gonna be here for 5 hours. Thank God I can catch up on your vlogs. That, like, totally made my night. It's comments like that that just I love so much. Or, you know, when somebody will express something that they're going through, and then like 5 people chime in and say, you know, like, hey, hang in there, or it'll get better, or whatever. I love that you guys do that. I think that's fantastic. And I don't know, maybe it's just, you know, a group of like-minded people, or I don't know, looking at the world similarly in a simple way. I like that. So thank you for those comments. They always, you know, mean a lot to me. All the comments, I read all of them. So thanks. And If you've made it this far on the video, like this video, give it a thumbs up. I never say that. I should probably start saying that more often, shouldn't I? And I love you, and don't forget to leave a blue heart. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.